Alright guys, so today we're gonna go over like a sample of your project. So basically what I have here is an equation, but this equation is in standard form and we want to graph this equation, okay? So in order to graph this, we need to find slope and y-intercept. Okay, because this is in standard form, we have to isolate y, right? Right now the y is not by itself. So I'm going to subtract 16x using subtraction property of equality. And when I subtract 16x, I have to do it on both sides because to balance out the equation, right? And we're left with negative 4y equals negative 16x minus 20. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide by negative 4 on each term. So I'm left with y equals 4x, positive 4x, and plus 5, because negative divided by negative is positive. Now I know the slope. The slope is the number next to x, which is 4. I'm going to write 4 over 1, so it's easy for me to graph. And the y-intercept is 5. Or I can write it as 0, 5. That means my first point I will plot on the graph is when I go to the y-axis, I'm going to find number 5. That's the y-intercept. Now from the y-intercept, I'm going to go up 4 and to the right 1. Always go to the right on the bottom on the number. Now because this is positive, I'm going up, right? So 4 and then to the right 1. So that's my first point. Then my second point. And then I'm gonna go backwards, so I can just go down 4 to the, because there's no more space going up, right? And if you look at the trend, it's going up, right? So I know that my slope is positive. I'm gonna connect the points using a ruler, or in this case I'm using my iPad pencil, Apple Pencil. I'm gonna okay, it's okay if it's not perfect. So I'm going to put arrows up there, down there. Now, is this a function? Oh, I'm gonna label it, sorry. Y equals 4x plus 5. Now, is this graph a function? Yes, this is a function. Why? Because remember the vertical line test? So if I go up and down, right? Throughout the line from left to right, it's always going to touch only one point, right? So vertical lines test state if the line only passed at one point only, this is a function. This graph is a function. Pass the vertical line test. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the domain and the range, okay? So for the domain is all the x values, right? So that means if I look at my line, I'm looking at the x-axis, it's an arrow. So it goes all the way from the negative infinity to positive infinity, because if I stretch my line, it's never ending, right? Or I can write it using the inequality symbol. Well, it's all real numbers, so you cannot put negative, you cannot put infinity on inequality, right? And if I want to find my range, I'm looking at the y-axis. So if I'm looking at my line, it's also from in negative infinity to positive infinity, because both have arrow ends, right? Arrow means infinity. So the range is from negative infinity to positive infinity, or all real numbers. So that's it. This is your project. Basically, you're doing something that looks like this. Imagine you are a teacher and the video might be used for incoming freshmen next year to explain how to graph a line. And you can work on it on a paper. Make sure you record it using your phone or like a video camera. Use Google Slides. You can do that as well. Or iPad if you have an iPad with the Apple Pencil. I use Notability and I use screen recording app. This is all for free. Okay? Good luck, guys.